Hey, 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 what's happening?
How's it going? How's it going? How's your day been? What you doing?
I am sitting here drinking coffee like usual. Had
Sounds
some,
like an average night for you.
yeah, had some tacos for dinner.
Oh,
Yeah,
how exquisite.
yes. Got a little bit of a headache today because,
Because you
I,
had to talk to me.
yeah, exactly.
Yep,
Uh, it's just the eyeballs.
as usual.
Yep.
Hi, Thanos. How's it going? Happy birthday.
Pedos, what's happening? uh, so what else is new? We got snow coming. That's pretty
Hi, Mr.
exciting.
Fatchard Foo.
Patrick Boo got some snow coming. That's pretty exciting.
Crazy weather right now. Very, 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 very crazy.
Yeah, I'm waiting for our power to go out. So
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. So I don't have to come on here and talk to you tonight.
I was hoping for the same exact thing for you. So.
You're lying. You love me.
I went to the town earlier today, and man, not that it's cold out, but like that rain is just it makes it miserable.
Yep,
I don't
I
mind the
liked it.
cold. Like if
I
it
like
was
the
just
rain.
cold, and I don't mind the rain, like in the fall and the summertime, but like just today, it was just like ugh,
Yeah, I know the feeling.
you know. And it was one of those rains where it was like it wasn't downpouring, so you can like appreciate a good storm, and it wasn't sprinkling, so you can kind of go out and then not bother with it. Right? It was just like a steady rain, and it was just
I loved it. I thought the wind was so nice. It was so cool
yeah, the
listening
wind
to
was
the wind blow.
yeah. I drove down to the post office. I had my window cracked about halfway down, so I was rocking. It was awesome.
Yeah, you using your phone and calling me.
Yes, I was driving and talking on my phone at the same time.
Illegal, guys. This man is a felon.
Lake effect sucks. Yeah, that's all we ever get around here is lake effect snow. So we're used to it. Once it
You got
starts
any
snowing,
news from the Crick?
I did not make a newsreel today.
Oh, what? Okay, do you even have a shout out? Is there a shout out?
But there really hasn't been that much news that hasn't been covered. There was like even on the Foosh on Saturday morning, there was like very little news. The only thing I'm really excited about is Captain Carrot. Have you seen Captain Carrot?
Yes, the DC rabbit that is secretly a superhero.
Yeah. But they have a second version that's like the Chase version coming out for Walmart. And it has like brown ears and brown hands instead of just like the white ears and white hands. And you can see its
Very
eyeballs.
interesting.
He looks even better than the regular version. So hopefully I can snag him when he finally shows up. But
Hopefully.
uh, other than that, what else is new in the news? Really, not a lot.
No idea. No idea.
Got some good
Um,
hella dope toys. Black Friday specials coming up. Got AWalk was
yeah,
announced today.
some
For
awesome deals.
I can't remember what the discount is, but
I believe it's 20%.
20%. Yeah,
I don't know. Let me check. We don't want to be giving fake information
don't
now.
want to give out false information.
Well, anyway, what have
And
you been
then
up to?
and then Fresh Monkey Fiction's Santa Claus Naughty or Nice collection, as they call it. Series 2 is supposed to be hitting another toy store that we won't mention soon, but I like Fresh Monkey Fiction, and unfortunately, you can only get it at that one place. So, hold on, let's say hi to Mr. Largo.
Hi, Mr. Largo.
Thanks for stopping in. Today's shout out of the Crick we'll give to Jim Largo. He's finally back up and running. He's got a couple new AF3s out. He did some cover a rollout, and I can't remember the female character's name that he covered. He's got a new Unheimlich unveiled.
Heimlich.
Unveiled. I always say Unheimlich because I like to say the CH. But
But
that
like,
was pretty cool.
you call it a Heimlich maneuver?
Yes, it's a Heimlich maneuver. It's Freud. It's just a Freudian slip. But anyway, that was really good.
Wait, no, that's not.
And he did.
That's not what a Freudian slip means.
Naughty by nature. Yes. That's a rap song, rap band from the probably 80s, early 90s, something like that.
My rap name is One Sock.
Yes, I believe that. And what was I saying before that? Oh, yeah, Mr. Largo. And then he also did a new AT-76, which he got a vintage repro land adventure, vintage style repro land adventure, and capture or rescue of the pygmy gorilla. I think it's rescued was the newer version of the GI Joe. And then he took that and kit bashed it with some extra goodies and better goodies and stuff, and made a really sweet ass looking figure. So go give Mr. Largo a check out and a follow and a sub.
He's awesome.
Yes,
Very nice guy.
And Largo and myself will be going live on Thanksgiving evening around 7 o'clock ish, somewhere in that area, Eastern time, 6 o'clock Central time. Might be a little bit later, a little bit earlier. It just depends on when we all get together. And Wilhelm Toy and Hobby will be joining us. So if you got nothing going on and you don't watch football on Thanksgiving, pop in and say hi to us on Largo's channel. Oh, look who's here. Not that guy. We already said hi to him. Mr. Oz is here. Welcome, Largo and Briscoe. So Sunday night, Hella Dope had Random Diorama on, which was a pretty good show.
Very awesome.
He did good. And then there's some other news out of Hella Dope Toys this week. They got their blog going, so that's good.
I hear the author's a very cool dude.
I heard the author is a very cool guy for the blog. And Not Frog Entertainment, what's happening, my man?
Howdy, howdy. Aloha. Tomorrow, the blog will be talking about a certain type of space creature.
Ooh. Sounds interesting.
Extraterrestrials.
Was the first one put out today or yesterday?
Yeah, it's on right now, today.
Excellent.
Talking about Street Fighter.
They go to helladope.com and they hit the blog button, correct?
Well, if you just scroll down on the main page, it's there.
Is that
you just
gotta
scroll far enough. Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Okay. So you guys go check out Hella Dope's blog.
Well, just go check out Hella Dope in general.
Yeah,
they got a lot of
definitely
they got
check out
AWOC deals. They're going to be having Black Friday deals, man. There's going to be a lot.
All sorts of good stuff coming up. So other than that, there's really not much news, but that's our shout out and that's the news. You got anything that's new? You got a Chun-Li?
Yes. I have lots that's new and I must speak.
All right, speak away.
It is told that Feanor is creating a star in his hand, something he calls the Silmarillion.
Really?
It's not good. It's not good. It's going to cause a lot of chaos, man. I hear Melkor's trying to talk him, smooth talk him, into giving him the Silmarillion so that he can have the power of the Valar.
That damn Melkor, man. He's like, he's like the mafia henchman, in Chicago, trying to talk the guys into, working with them instead of the other guys, Got a tongue like a snake.
Yeah. Yep. So, should we move on into our topic for the day?
Yeah, we can move on to the topic.
Wait, we got to wait 15 seconds.
15 seconds? Why is it 15 seconds?
Because then we'll hit the 10-minute mark.
Oh, okay. So thanks everybody for stopping in.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. It's very nice of you. You're all very interesting, cool people.
I will shout out to Odd Frog Entertainment real quick while we're waiting.
Go for it.
They put up a video of their new I don't remember what they're calling it, the Skull Cycle or something like that, but showed them building their new product that's I think was built for an actual motorcycle shop or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the deal is behind it, but pretty cool bike. Got a skull face for where the headlights go, and they wired in LEDs and everything for it, painted it all up, and showed the process of them actually assembling it. It would be excellent to have for my bone chopper. There it is. Be excellent to have for Gomez or one of the Skull Brigade dudes. But Finrod, your audio is messed up.
Is it?
He sounded fine to me. I don't know what.
Do I?
No, you sound
Let's
good.
see.
I think you sound fine. How you doing, Matthew?
I think it's fine. I don't know.
I think you're fine. It might have crackled or something, but we're having bad windstorms. So if Luke and I just like drop off, that means our power like went out because
We just died.
we live in the middle of nowhere and there's a lot of tree limbs that fall down onto. He says that your gain is too high and it's popping on his end. It doesn't pop on my end, so I don't know.
Does it sound better now? I turned the bass down a bit.
Yeah, it does sound a little better actually. But so yeah, if we just disappear, that's what happened. So we probably won't be able to get back on for hours because when the power goes out of here, it usually goes out for
Forever.
4 hours to 4 days, depending on how fast they can figure out where the problem is and fix it. So
You can hear he's
all right, dude.
he's dropping off
Your show,
already,
jump
guys.
into the topic.
You're skipping now, Dad. Padre.
Am I?
Yep, you were a second ago. But okay.
Yeah.
Silmarillion. You ever read it?
Yes, I have several times. Haven't read it
Was
in a
that
while,
you
though.
just pausing? Was that you pausing, or are you having?
No, I paused.
Okay,
I probably read it last, maybe from cover
20
to
years
cover,
ago.
probably 15 years ago. You were, how old are you?
I don't know. I
You're
try not
18
to
now?
keep count.
18. So let's see. Yeah, you were probably like somewhere between 3 and 5. So yeah.
Awesome, very cool. I like being 5. I read it. I think earlier this year.
Largo says bad internet is his shtick. So we can't
Yep.
use that. So we're not using the internet. We're using electricity as our shtick.
So I read it earlier this year. I think for the first time. It was earlier this year for sure. Yeah, and what I would do would just listen to the audiobook because I didn't feel like reading the book because that's just boring, honestly. And I think people that read books are silly. Like, who reads books these days? God, what a silly guy.
I would love to read books.
I would love to write books. That'd be pretty cool if I could write a book.
You have.
That's the joke that I'm saying that people who read books are silly when I wrote a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would love to be able to still read books, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, I can't see the damn typing. Even in the blind people's large print, I struggle.
Anyway, though.
Anyway, go ahead.
What I would do is I would listen to the audiobook while out in the woods. So I would have like this epic tale of elves and Maiar and the Valar and all this. And while I'm just walking down a trail and I'm like looking out over a chasm with a lake and the sun reflecting off, it was beautiful. And I can't really go back in the woods without thinking about the Silmarillion anymore. Because I don't know. I love this story.
Well, right now you can't go back in the woods anyway because you get shot.
Yeah. Hey man, I'll wear my bright green Slurpee hat. I'll be fine.
Green Slurpee, yeah, there you go. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've always been obsessed with elves. Like it's always been my thing.
Yes.
I have elf ears in general, so
You've
gotta
even when you
represent.
were little, you were very into elves. I mean, it started with like Christmas elves,
Spiderwick
and Spiderwick and all that happened. And I remember when you were little, we used to go to like the stores and you'd get like those Schleich figures and stuff.
Yeah.
The little statues, and you always wanted the elves. It was always the elves.
Who did I always play in Lord of the Rings, Conquest of the Rings on the Xbox?
Legolas.
The elves. I loved Legolas. Yeah. I don't know. I used to always
you
be
were an
obsessed
Elven
with
Ranger
archery
for
too.
Halloween the one time, remember?
I was obsessed with the archery too.
Yeah. You learned
Don't really know why.
You got bows and arrows because you love the elves. That's why I like battle axes and warhammers, because I like the dwarves.
Because you're short.
Not as short as Lawrence.
Okay. Yeah, but I love that the story's just all about elves, pretty much. Except for when you get to like Hurin and Turin and all that. Then you get into like people, but the main focus is the elves.
Yes. But we also have our first mingling between elves and man, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's part of the whole part of the story, right? Is that
That's towards the end of the story, though.
yeah.
So
It's pretty cool because like that, of course, it's not really or actually it's pretty interesting because the book was published posthumously by Christopher Tolkien.
Christopher Tolkien.
Yeah, his son, right? J.R.R.'s son, in 1977. And it was actually a compilation of a whole bunch of different notes and things that his father had left. And there's parts of the story that Christopher actually had to write. And he actually had a couple other authors join in to help him, help him with different ideas and, structure and writing and all that stuff, right? And one of the interesting things is that it was actually in Tolkien's original plan to have the Silmarillion not completely written by himself. And then he was going to have the Silmarillion told by one of the characters, just like The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings is written by Bilbo and Frodo. And he was going to do the same thing for the Silmarillion, but he ended up not doing that because he was dead by the time it came out. Real quick. Hi, Allison. Thank you for coming in. He's got one of the what is that elf figure I got you? The Silmarillion Guards. That was his first Mythic Legions figure, as a matter of fact, Oz.
Yes, it was. Also, Fat Red Foo's wondering how tall Lawrence is.
How tall is Larry? I think Larry comes up to my shoulders, so he's probably like
5'6",
5'3", 5'4".
Interesting. Very interesting. So what's your favorite part of the book?
I really like the beginning where they're talking about the creation of Ea, and how God created the
your brain's not braining today.
Iluvatar? Yeah.
Iluvatar is the name of God.
Okay, what was his name of his kids that he created?
The Valar.
I'm trying to think. The Valar, yes.
The Valar.
I get all these,
yeah, there you go.
Getting all the R's in the names.
This guy's never read the Silmarillion. He's lying. This is all.
I have proof. I have right here in my hands. Look at that.
Yeah, just because you own it doesn't mean you read it. You have Lotus too.
I have that. Yeah, I read part of Lotus, and I have the Lays of Beleriand, which is also a good book that is different extended tales from that. And Baron and
Luthien, one of my favorite stories.
Which is also that's a good story. I really like the Children of Hurin. That was a good part of the book too. That whole epic part of it was excellent. But I've always been a fan of like the origin stories. Like the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite part of that. And in the movie, that was my favorite one of the three movies. I was always been a big fan of Star Wars: A New Hope, which is an origin story. So I'm always been in the big origin story. So that part of the book.
Have you ever watched Smallville?
Smallville? No.
Yeah, the DC show.
Yeah, I've watched some of it, but not like.
I think you'd like it. It's a good origin story.
Yeah, Jason was a big fan of Smallville, so I heard all about it every day after after it aired. So, but I'm not a big Superman fan, that. So.
Okay, Batman guy.
Yeah,
you can like both evenly.
I can't because Batman is just more awesome than Superman is.
Batman would get his butt kicked by Superman.
All he has to do is say Martha, and then Superman gets all teary-eyed and loses his bearings. And
gets
his ass handed to him by a kryptonite spear.
If Batman and Superman were actually fighting, and Superman wanted to fight, Superman would just laser his face off. Have you watched The Boys? Homelander and Superman are the same people.
I know.
Superman would just zzz, and you're dead.
The Punisher would come save Batman.
Yep.
Kill Superman with kryptonite bullets.
I don't think you're able to make a bullet out of rocks.
Sure you can. They used to make them out of lead. Why not make them out of rocks?
Because that's a metal.
Still a projectile.
Okay, but I feel like the force of the explosion from the gunpowder would shoot and then shatter the kryptonite.
Even better, because then it would be like buckshot. It would
like a shotgun. Yeah, I guess.
Go all over.
But would it have enough force and like
Absolutely.
power to continue to carry? Okay.
Worst case scenario, the Punisher would come up with like a crossbow situation, so it'd just be darts of kryptonite. So
that would be pretty cool.
We're getting way off.
That's the thing that they did. That's what they did in. Yeah, I was just gonna say they did that. I think they did that in Dark Knights of Steel, unless I'm. No, they didn't. That was just Green Arrow with Green Lantern. But anyway,
yeah.
Okay. So, what's your favorite part of the?
What's your favorite part? I told you my favorite part is the creation.
Okay, so I've got two favorite parts. I love the part where Feanor, is it Fingolfin?
Fingolfin?
Yeah, is it him?
Yep. Well, I don't know which part you're talking about, but
yeah, 1 second.
That's the character. Fingolfin.
Okay, yeah. So I like the part where Feanor comes in and then threatens to kill Fingolfin when he's talking to his dad, and then he gets kicked out, and all the elves get mad at him. I like that part. That one's fun. But I think my favorite part has to be when Finrod's having the rap battle with Morgoth, where he's singing the song to scare Morgoth away, and they're having an epic rap battle of the century.
Yes, they're having a sing off.
Yep.
The Masked Singer competition. Yeah.
And then he dies. Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
That was actually a sad part of the book. I don't really get sad from books, but when Finrod died, that was sad.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, like when I read some of the names that Tolkien came up with, because like in a lot of our more modern stories about Christmas, all the Christmas elves always have these funny names, and some of the names that Tolkien actually named these like really serious elf princes and kings and warriors, like Fingolfin, just kind of remind me of something like Sparky McLucky Buttons,
I can't agree with you. I'm sorry. I apologize. Listen.
I mean, Feanor is a cool name. Finrod, no. Fingolfin, they're kind of funny.
Listen, I got to tell you this, okay? So Feanor, first off, means like burning flame or something like that. Flaming soul. But anyway, what I realized while I was reading the Sworn Book of Honorius Liber, which is an medieval Christian magic book. Okay, I was reading that. Just as some.
What is it called?
The Sworn Book of Honorius Liber.
Okay.
It's a book on how to summon and bind angels and demons to you.
Okay.
And what I realized was that all of these angels' names are just pretty much the exact same as the elves' names from this book.
Like what?
I'm not going to say these, the names of these angels. I don't have them on the top of my head. But they're very funny sounding. Like the only ones that we really have that sound normal these days are the ones that we hear all the time, like Azrael and Raphael and Michael and Samael. And other than that, it's
the angels that are known are archangels anyway. So
yeah, there's a Skyrim thing that's like Tetragrammatron. I think that's the name of God. It's such an interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is a lot of since Tolkien used, all sorts of different languages and created his own and stuff like that. But
I think he wanted the elves to be like angels, though, right? That was his whole
That's
thing.
what I'm saying. There's lore behind it, his names, right? So
I feel like he definitely named the elves kind of something like the angels' names would be.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Well, he had purpose for all of this stuff, right? Numenor was a name of that. That was the island that sank, right? The island disappeared or something. Numenor. And so, Tolkien had lots of things that he did. Like all of the hobbits, right, have different names that are like Frodo and Bilbo and
Bungo.
Bongo, yeah, all those,
Bungo Baggins.
yeah, all those names and stuff. So I mean, he had derivatives and stuff that he used also.
Yeah.
Mr. Wonderful is late, but he has arrived. Thank you for
Is
stopping by.
Finarfin the dad? Finarfin's the dad, right? Wait, I gotta Google this.
The dad of what?
Feanor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds right, but I'm not 100% sure.
He's the father of Galadriel and the great-grandfather of Elrond.
Yeah.
Interesting. He's the third son of Finwë. Finwë's the dad.
Finwë, yes, Finwë. That was the one.
Now, who's your favorite elf?
Who's my favorite elf?
Yeah.
Out of all of it, or just out of the Silmarillion?
Out of this, both of them. Choose both. Two of them. Two.
Probably. I really like Fingolfin. And
why? Because he's like a good king or something?
Yes.
God, what a silly little loser.
And then probably the overarching story would be what was Legolas's dad's name?
Thranduil?
Yeah, Thranduil. I really liked him.
I don't think Thranduil's really in the book, sadly. He's like in there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I love how he treats the dwarves when they get captured and brought to the woodland realm. And then the dwarves, he gets his underlings tricked by an invisible hobbit. I mean,
yeah.
Actually, I just really like how I've always liked him, the way they portrayed him in the original cartoon Hobbit. And that's kind of where it comes from, right?
Let me Google that. I don't really know what that looks like. Thranduil cartoon.
They didn't look like elves in the cartoon. They looked more like
like a creepy
frog
troll.
Kind of, yeah,
that is a. Well, he is a wood elf, so
yeah,
I
that's
guess
what the wood elves. That's if you look at wood elves through history, that's kind of what some of them look like, right? So
yeah,
we have a skewed sense of what elves should look like nowadays. So.
Well, I don't know.
Bernard is hands down the best elf. Oz says.
Were there?
I don't think Bernard was in the Tolkien world though. Oz. He is a good elf though. I do like Bernard.
Were there? Were the elves over in Middle Earth before the Maiar came over?
Yes.
There were? Yeah, there were. There were the ones by the sea, right?
Yeah.
That worshipped Manwë?
Yeah. The elves were... Well, the elves and the dwarves were kind of created at the same time in Middle Earth. Right?
You're forgetting your lore. What do you think happens with the dwarves, man?
Well, the one god creates them out of mud and all that stuff, and then he gets in trouble.
But they're sleeping.
Yeah,
they sleep the whole time.
That's right, they were sleeping.
They weren't allowed to wake until the Age of Man, I think, or whenever Iluvatar was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be fine."
Yeah. Because he did that without his father's permission.
Yeah, that was not part of the plan.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if the wood elves were over there beforehand, but I don't think that's what that was. I don't think Thranduil was existing. Did he? I don't know. I don't know all my lore. Whatever. But anyway, I like Glorfindel. He's pretty cool. Glorfindel's a cool elf. House of the Golden Flower, fought at Balrog.
Yeah, who was the one that fought the dragon?
I think that might have been Glorfindel also. I don't know. Yeah, he took down the giant dragon.
Yeah, he was a pretty badass dude fighting the Balrog and all that stuff. So.
But Finrod's obviously my favorite.
obviously. So what's going on in the picture you have here? Let's blow you up solo screen.
1 second. I'm not. Yeah, and Calagan. And Calagon.
Yeah.
The Black was the greatest of all winged dragons. Read by Morgoth during the First Age. I want to see who killed him. So, in this image that you're seeing now, that is Finrod teaching the humans about, I think he was singing to them out in the woods. And everybody was like, what the heck? What's going on here? And then they went and he was just so enticing.
Yes.
And then
the elves kind of had a magic glow to them in Tolkien's lore.
And they were the best singers. I think, they were the best singers of all time.
Yep. And like Tolkien has the book basically broken up into 4 parts, right? So it's like
Arendelle, Arendelle took down Encalagon.
Yes.
In Sindarin, Encalagon means rushing jaws.
Sindarin, yes.
But we don't speak Sindarin in this house.
We don't?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm pretty sure that's part of the rules of Fingolfin.
So what's the point of the book? What are the Silmarils? What is the purpose of them?
What do you mean?
So
okay, what are they? What are the Silmarils?
The book
is the Silmarils are the
which is based on the Silmarils, which there's 3 of those.
Feanor created them using the last bit of light from the tree that whatever her name was made. Are you here?
Yes.
Okay, you didn't answer what I just said.
What was the trees called?
I don't know.
But the tree was dying.
The trees of Valinor. They were the trees of Valinor.
And they were dying, right?
Yeah, all of them were dying.
Yeah.
And Feanor made it the same with the light. That's the last bit of the light.
Yes. And they ended up not by his design, but causing all sorts of chaos.
The entire book.
Yes. Within Middle Earth, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody wanted the power they possessed.
Yep. Okay, the trees' names were Laurelin and Telperion.
Telperion, yes. I love Telperion.
Yeah.
What was I just going to say?
I don't know what you're just going to say. I don't read minds.
You don't?
Nope.
Damn. I wish you did, because it was a good thought, and it was like, just escaped me. What were we talking? We were talking about the trees, right?
Yes, and the Silmarils.
Yes. I don't remember now. Anyway, so what's the purpose of the Silmarils?
There is no purpose of the Silmarils.
Why do they cause such destruction throughout the book?
Because they're gorgeous and powerful and beautiful and gorgeous and beautiful.
Yes. Because they hold the light, magical light within them, right?
Yeah, I think people were just obsessed with them because they were gorgeous, though.
Was it Melkor that was trying to
what happened?
A crown or something?
He wore them in the crown.
He wore them in the crown, yeah.
Yeah, that's part of Beren and Luthien when Beren gets his hand bit off by a wolf and then he still is holding the Silmaril in his hand while it's inside of the wolf. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good part of the story. I forgot about that.
Okay, so Feanor created the Silmarils, right?
Yes.
Using the light of the trees. And then when he makes the Silmarils, then people are starting to want the Silmarils, and then Melkor tries to get the Silmarils, but the gods, the Valar, are like, no, Melkor shouldn't have it. We should have it because, it's our thing. And then Feanor's mad because he's like, this is my birthright. I created them. They're mine. And then he's like, no. And then someone tries to steal the Silmarils. So he starts this whole voyage of trying to go and get back the Silmarils from Melkor and because he blames all the gods for allowing them to be stolen. And he's like, they're mine. And then his entire family's like, we got to hold up the oath of Feanor and, make sure that we keep them for our family. So then all of this conflict starts because there's some elves.
That's what it all was stemmed from, right? Was the oath of Feanor to protect the Silmarils and keep them within his family's control.
Yep.
That's right.
I'll read the oath of Feanor right now.
Okay, read the oath of Feanor.
Be he foe or friend, be he foul or clean, brood of Morgoth or bright Vala, Elda or Maya or aftercomer, man yet unborn upon Middle Earth, neither law nor love, nor league of swords, dread nor danger, not doom itself, shall defend him from Feanor and Feanor's kin. Whoso hideth or hoardeth, or in hand taketh, finding keepeth, or afar casteth a Silmaril, this swear we all, death we will deal him, ere day's ending, woe unto world's end. Our word hear thou, Eru All-Father, to the everlasting darkness doom us if our deed faileth. On the holy mountain hear and witness, and our vow remember Manwë and Varda. It's pretty awesome.
Pretty serious stuff.
Yeah,
that's saying I don't care if you're a friend, a foe, a god.
Literally death itself.
Yep.
We will kill you. And if we don't, then we shall die.
We're either going to die protecting it or kill you for taking
it. Funnily enough, I say that before I start eating any Burger King ever. If you take my fries, I don't care if you're the Grim Reaper.
There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good things that came out of the Silmarillion, like, things that we saw in the Lord of the Rings and in the Hobbit.
Glorfindel is in the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Iluvatar brings him back from the dead.
Yeah. What's the big spider? Ungoliant, yes. And his ancestor, right, was in
that was Ungoliant.
Yeah,
the ancestor
was the ancestor. What was the spider in Lord of the Rings?
Let me Google that.
I always forget.
See if you can beat it. Can you beat the? I know the name. Can you guess?
No, I can't.
Shelob.
Shelob, yes. I always want to call her something else, but yes, Shelob. Shelob is a spider, but Ungoliant was her ancestor.
Yes.
And created all those big giant evil spiders of the world. But like there was her, right? Ungoliant. And then of course that's when you first hear about Sauron. And
that's when Sauron turns evil.
Yeah. And then of course you also hear about the like in the beginning of the Hobbit movies when Gandalf goes to that tomb. That's where you find out about what's actually that tomb is about.
Yeah.
Right? The I can't remember the name.
You're saying a lot.
Yeah.
Your brain's not working right now.
I told you, man, I'm tired and I got a bad headache all day. So. But yeah, like there's a lot of stuff that I thought was cool that was in the Hobbit because it's actually stuff from the Silmarillion. And if you didn't read the Silmarillion, you had no idea what the hell was going on because none of it was in the Hobbit. So, and of course, we also find out about Mithril, right? We find out about Mithril in the Silmarillion and the creation of that.
We also find out about the swan boats being burnt.
Oh,
losers.
Yeah, swan boats.
All your swan boats are dead. God. I'm a very big supporter of the family of Feanor. I think it doesn't make sense. That dude made those Silmarils, okay? That'd be like if someone was like, okay, you made all this money this year, and now we're going to take all of it for ourselves because we're in charge of you.
Well, the government does that.
That's why I'm saying this. I do not like that. That's silly.
Well, they needed the boats, right? And obviously, was there swan boats in the Lord of the Rings? There was in the Hobbit movie, right? At the end?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think there was. Because that carried the elves and Bilbo
and
Gandalf to the Grey Havens.
Yep. That was. I'm gonna someday. I don't think those were swan boats. I think those were just boats, though.
Well, they were shaped. Well, the one was shaped like a swan in the movie, so maybe that wasn't how it was in the book. I don't remember.
I think you're just imagining things.
Probably. I'm
gonna someday get a costume of Feanor, and I'm I'm gonna go to a place where you can ride swan boats, and I'm gonna take a selfie holding a lighter, and the caption's just gonna say, "Time for a big day," and I'm gonna be smiling, holding like a can of gasoline and a lighter.
Just don't really burn the boat, because I don't know if I'll be able to bail you out.
Okay. Well, I got to get my Silmarils back. For if anyone tries to take these, I shall die. Even Arda or Manwë themselves.
Yeah, and so in the book, that's also when we hear about the land of the dead, right?
The land of the dead. Yes, that's during Baron and Luthien.
Baron and Luthien, right? Yeah.
Because Baron, he dies, and then Luthien is like, "Well, I'm an elf, but now make me never an elf, and I want to die and go live with him in the shores of whatever."
Yeah. It's kind of messed up that the elves got such a good deal, right? They got to live forever.
And they just threw it all away. That's the whole point, though. I think that's the whole point Tolkien was trying to say. Like, if you read it, he says that the gift of man is to die.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what he was trying to say in the book, was that, life is precious while you have it, but living forever, well, look what it can do. It can corrupt you like a lot of the
makes
elves,
you a
right?
crazy person.
Makes you bitter. Like,
unless
a lot of people didn't really like the way they portrayed Thranduil in The Hobbit when he turned his back on the dwarves and stuff. But like, after years of living on Middle Earth and basically having to live hiding from all other creatures and people because of the way things are.
Also, his wife died, right, and he has to live forever without her.
Yeah, you'd become really bitter and have a lot of, pent up anger towards the rest of the world. So,
yeah, most of his anger comes from the fact that his wife died.
Right.
But he doesn't. He'll never see her again. Like, because unless he dies,
what they're trying to paint with the whole
5,000 years.
Aragorn and what was her name? Eowyn.
Yeah.
Eowyn, part of the story. So they did a good job with that, I think. But I remember it was probably like 77 or 78 when I first read The Hobbit. So I was 5 or 6.
Me too.
Uncle Dave got the Silmarillion, and I remember he was sitting at the kitchen table at Grandma's house, which is your great grandma, of course, the house at the lake. And he was sitting at the kitchen table reading it, and I was just fascinated because he was like reading some of it aloud to me. And then he gave me like a copy, paper bound copy of softcover of the Hobbit.
Does it have a gray cover? Is it gray?
I don't remember what it looked like now. I took that with me when I went to the army, and it's probably either in the back.
Well, you gave me a silver copy of the Silmarillion.
Oh, that one was from Uncle Dave. Yeah, that was that copy was from Uncle Dave. Yep. I'm talking about the copy of the Hobbit.
You're very loud.
I was talking about the copy of the Hobbit that he gave me. He gave me a copy of the Hobbit. I remember going home and reading it basically like for a whole day, right? And then, of course, the Rankin and Bass cartoon was on like some Saturday morning, cable station like 1980. And that was it for me. I read The Hobbit again, found The Lord of the Rings, then read The Silmarillion when I was probably 8 or 9 for the first time. I was just blown away by like of course, it was hard for me to read it because of the languages and stuff. But I mean, a lot of the stories were like just, like if you read Baron and Luthien, other than having a struggle pronouncing some of the words, there's not really a lot in that part of the story that's not understandable, right? Same with the Children of Hurin part of it. But there's some of it, of course, that I had to read like 18 times to figure it out. So,
howdy, Ted.
What's up, Ted? Duty calls.
Can you move your mic a little away from your face?
I wonder if that's hella dope duty or duty like the poop line duty.
Poop line duty, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So yeah, I was, I started reading Tolkien when I was really young, and have always just loved it. So
Yeah, same here, man. I yeah.
I probably had you
Speaking of
watching
cartoons,
the cartoon The Hobbit when you were probably 5.
yeah,
Same with Emma. Emma used to watch it when she was a baby when she used to watch that. She used to sit in a basket, like a clothes basket with a blanket and her bottle. So she was, 2 years old.
yeah,
Wanted to watch The Hobbit like on repeat.
yep.
And back then I had it on VHS. I didn't have it on DVD. So it was like play, rewind.
You didn't even have a DVD player back then.
Nope. So it was like wore that tape out, and then finally
Speaking of
got it on
cartoon, though,
DVD, and she still watched it all the time. Speaking of what?
you know what would make a speaking of cartoon, you know what would make a great cartoon? The Silmarillion.
What?
The Silmarillion.
I know the Silmarillion would make. They could do that so much better in a cartoon if they had,
Yeah,
like if they did it in the style of like the Clone Wars, that style of a
yeah.
cartoon. Like they could. That would be so awesome to have the Silmarillion, because like I appreciate what Amazon tried to do with the Rings of Power, because that was part of the Silmarillion story. But
Is it?
yes,
I didn't watch it really.
it's part of the last part where
It's at the very end because Finrod's dead.
where he's talking, like when they start talking about some of the stuff that happens during the Lord of the Rings and like precursors to that, right? Like things that led up to that point. And they talk about the Rings of Power. And I appreciate what Amazon was trying to do, but unless you're going to do individual stories of the Silmarillion, like Beren and Luthien or the Children of Hurin or the Balerion story, right? That's a hard thing to dive into and actually be able to do it correctly. For the entire expanse. In a cartoon series, you could do it like the Lord or the Clone Wars, right? And just do like episode after episode after episode.
Yeah.
And tell a really, really good story.
That's what I was going to say. Right? I think it would be awesome if they did a series based off of mostly like just all about the story about the Feanorian Oath, right? Mm-hmm. Like, don't do the Beren and Luthien stuff. Don't do all the outside stories, like the stories of man and stuff. Yeah. Just do the story about the clan of Feanor,
just do that whole elf family tree, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Finn. What was it? Finway, right?
Finway.
What was the?
It would be cool if they did do all of it, where they did like off-shooting episodes about the Beren and Luthien story and all of that.
That'd be could, really right? Because cool, like they did that in Clone Wars, right? Like they had the main storyline, and then they do 3 or 4 episodes shooting off into a different story. They could do that easily.
Yeah,
you could probably do Beren and Luthien, which it really isn't that long of a book. So
but like if they were just doing the Silmarillion, they could just do the abridged book, right? The part that's in the book. That's not long at all.
Yeah, the part of the book is not, and even the whole book itself is only 250 pages.
Plus, it's just a story.
Yeah, so I mean,
you could tell the story.
You could do that in 3 or 4 episodes, right?
Yep.
And same with Children of Hurin. You could do that in 3 or 4 episodes, and then, and then go back to the main line of the story, and more about the Finway family tree and the elves, and the burning bushes and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. The burning bushes.
That was just a joke. Instead of the burning swamp, it's burning swan boats. I said burning bushes.
You said burning bushes because the Bible?
I was watching a thing about religion before I jumped in.
Interesting. Okay.
those weird rabbit holes on YouTube I go down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that'd be awesome, honestly. I would be.
Let's talk about mythical creatures real quick that revolve around the Silmarillion, right?
Yes.
So last week we talked about elves.
Uh-huh.
And I think I understand why you like elves so much, right? What is it that really draws you to that race of beings?
They're like angels. You know, I also have a thing for angels.
Yes.
I
That's
love
what I was
angels.
kind of thinking, right? Plus, like if I think about an elf and I think about the things that you enjoy, it's like the same thing, right? You enjoy
Yeah.
writing, you enjoy playing music, especially like
I think what it is that
I think
I
you're an
mean,
elf.
yeah, probably. But in a lot of like modern pop culture, we have this, or like in the modern world, we have like this very big divide between like masculine things and feminine things, right? Like if you look at like masculine things are you got to kill people, you got to do all this crazy stuff, you know, you got to be a super strong person, and then like all of the other stuff that's not that is feminine. But like with elves, you get the arts and the beautiful things and all of like the
Right.
beauty of the elves, and then you also get the side of the elves that are the warriors and the thing. That's the same with the angels, right? Like
Right.
angels are they have the beautiful art, like light musical sort of side, and then they also have the strong sort of side. So it
Yeah.
like it blurs the division between what people say is like traditionally masculine and traditionally feminine. So I think that's pretty neat because I can't really think of anything else because dwarves are very masculine, right? And like
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
even the women have beards. So,
exactly. But like if people say like, oh, elves are babies, but if you look at the Silmarillion, these elves are killing each other, burning down entire villages, murdering. Like
right.
Glorfindel kills a demon, right?
Elves have always kind of reminded me of uh like what I would see like an ancient like Indian tribe or like the Aztecs or something would be, right? Very earth based, very, spiritual based and protective of their own. But when it
Yeah,
came time to like kick ass, they could kick ass. But when it came time to, play music or something like that, they could do that as
yep,
well. Maybe not the
yeah.
Aztecs, because some of those southern, like Mexico and South American tribes were pretty brutal. Like they thought they had to,
Sacrificing their
sacrifice
babies to the sun god.
a woman every day
Yeah,
so they could keep the sun god happy because they didn't want it to fall out of the sky. But
yeah,
like if you think about like some of the native tribes, like especially the ones up here in the northern part of the United States, they were very like peaceful and very earth earth related, cultivating the earth and taking care of
yeah,
nature. And like when they killed an animal, they thanked Mother Nature for the animal because they were going to use every single part of that animal, right
yep.
down to the bones and everything else. So that's what I kind of think of like when I think of elves, because it's like that type of thing, right? There's warriors, but there's also you know a uh a spiritual feminine side, let's put it that way, right?
Yeah, that's what feminine is. I was saying feminine in this
Right.
the idea of
That's what I'm
like
saying, right? People,
the
I'm just
Tao,
clearing.
right?
I'm clearing that up for
Yeah,
people that might not know if they're listening to this. That there's masculine and feminine that we use for genders, but there's also masculine and feminine that's used in a
if you've ever
soul,
read the Tao Te Ching, you would
right?
understand what I'm
In your
saying.
soul or your eternal spirit.
Lao Tzu says in the Tao Te Ching that know the masculine, well, know the white, keep to the black, but that means know the masculine but keep to the feminine.
Yep.
Because in spirituality, the feminine's more of the collected, pure,
Yes.
kind, caring sort of side. But
Yes.
then you need to know the masculine because it's better to be
Right.
a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
That's right.
I like that idea
Yep.
because imagining a samurai or a knight in a flower patch is much cooler than imagining a scared farmer man in a
Oh, for
bloody
sure.
battle.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of the ancient warriors, people don't realize, weren't just constantly doing wars and drills and everything else. They did a lot of that, but only to keep their skills sharp. They spent just as much time meditating and gardening and everything else that they could possibly do to help keep their mind and spirit balanced. So
yeah. The
I
singing bush from the Three Amigos.
I really don't know why I like dwarves. I've always just been like drawn to that
Blue
race, and it's probably because of
shadow
the little people that live in my
on the
mom's basement.
trail.
So it's funny that he brought this up because Saturday night on Oz's stream, I was telling people about how you used to do the song and dance to My Little Buttercup when you were like
My
3.
little buttercup has the sweetest smile. Sweet little
Sweet
buttercup.
Buttercup, won't you stay a while?
You and I will settle down
in a
in a cottage built for two. Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet
Great
little
movie.
Buttercup, my little buttercup.
I love you. I love that movie. Great
Awesome.
movie.
Excellent movie.
You know what? I think I know why you like dwarfs.
Why do I like dwarfs?
Because you're short and fat and have a beard.
Oh, you bastard.
No, I think you're just a very, with everything, you like people who have hammers and axes, first off. If you look at Hawkman, he has a mace, right?
Yeah.
And you seem like a very, you got dirt, you know? You're a dirt person. You like dirt.
Yeah, I could definitely live underground in a cave, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't want to go too deep and dig up a Balrog, but I've also always liked to make things with my hands, right? Like build and just things like that. So, but also I think a lot of my
One sec. I will be young and gorgeous forever. Okay, I don't go out in the sun, and I moisturize so that my skin will not look as wrinkly as my father's someday.
Salt of the earth. I think the other one of the big reasons also that I'm attracted to the dwarves is that I used to like the portrayal of the Christmas elves back in the day, and they were always bearded for the most part, right?
Yeah,
they were really look more like gnomes or dwarves as opposed.
Yeah, like that. What's that Christmas movie with the Saint Nick?
Yeah,
where he's the and they all have the beards.
Movie. Yeah, it's called Santa Claus movie. Yeah. So like, and then when I got older, I realized that was actually more dwarves, and it was
that is definitely dwarves.
I kind of like that.
And you're obsessed with Christmas.
Yes, a little bit.
Obsessed.
Tiny bit obsessed with Christmas.
No, all the Santa Claus lore.
Yes.
We're gonna have to do a Santa Claus podcast.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was looking at the calendar earlier today about the shows. So December, maybe like December 12th or 19th, we'll do a Santa Claus Christmas. Well, we'll do.
Let's do 19th.
The 19th, we'll do Santa Claus, right? The lore of Santa Claus. Then we could go into a whole big expanse about Christmas and why we have Christmas trees and what the star represents.
It's a Silmarillion.
And in, other pagan.
It's a Silmarillion.
Yeah, other pagan views.
Time to put the Silmarillion on the top of the tree.
That's right. Remember the year that we put, what was your action figure we put at the top of the tree? Was that Star-Lord?
Yeah, it was the Star-Lord thing that I got.
Yeah. When
we put a star at the top of the tree.
The first Guardians of the Galaxy, because you guys used to have your choice of what you wanted at the top of the tree.
Yep.
I always chose the Santa Claus. Belle always chose the star, and that was your year. And you're like, yeah, I want to put Star-Lord up there. So I zipped tight Star-Lord to the top of the Christmas tree.
That was pretty awesome.
That was awesome.
I thought of another thing. I think another reason that I like elves so much is because if you look at it, they're kind of like Greek mythology in a very big way, and I love Greek mythology, like the Greek gods especially.
Yep.
Like Finrod's very Orpheus, playing the lyre for taming the beasts.
Yeah.
Hermes, they're all okay. That's another.
Yeah,
one.
that's kind of like
mythological.
I was leaning towards with the relating them to like the ancient Indian tribes and stuff too.
Yeah,
right? Like all those ancient cultures, those are kind of like the Greeks and the Romans. Not all the Romans, but a lot of the Romans had like a lot of arts and stuff like that, but also could kick your ass if you push them too far, right? And like you said, it's better to be a warrior and a gardener in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, we'll do.
Look at Finrod though. Finrod was like, he was said to be the fairest and the most amazing at singing and the best at all this and the kindest elf.
Yes.
And then he takes Morgoth on one-on-one.
Yep.
And almost beats him, except for he gets eaten by a dog trying to save Baron.
Yeah. Which, accidents happen, I guess.
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry about that. So, yeah, but I like even like in The Hobbit, they talk about like the elves were singing and when the dwarves were going through Mirkwood, right? And that's what attracted them off the trail. And then, but the elves singing was beautiful. But then they get captured by the elves and thrown in a dungeon, right? So
that's the whole thing of the Fae. If you look into the Fae and Norse culture, they would lure people into the woods by singing so beautifully and then kill them and eat them.
Mermaids in the ocean do it, right?
Yeah, the sirens.
Yep, they sing.
I think there's something cool about that, actually. I like the idea of something being so beautiful that it will like kill you. Right?
Yes.
Something creepy about that. I was reading more like creepy things. Scary, like Lotus.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing of Lotus. Like that was because I mean there's something a good thing if you're good at doing scary stuff, right? If you're good at horror, you can take something that's not supposed to be scary and turn it scary, right? Like clowns. That whole thing started clowns being creepy. They weren't supposed to be creepy.
There's people that were scared of clowns already, and that's where the idea came from. But it created a whole new sense of fear of clowns for a whole new generation, right? So,
but I mean, if you think about it, you're not supposed to be afraid of beautiful things, right? But if you can create something so beautiful and then scare people based off of that, that's a good story.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And there's a lot of that in ancient cultures.
Yeah.
Right? The
sirens, the Fae, Wendigos.
The Wendigos. Yep.
Mimics.
You like they're a woman damsel.
What's that one lady? The lady from the Casbots with the goat legs and the wings.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what the hell is her name? The vampire lady that
the serial killer that was a clown also, John Wayne Gacy. Yeah, the vampire goat lady that
what the hell is her
eats
name?
you.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Rock the Casbah.
Yeah, like at least La Llorona, like she just screams all night.
La Llorona.
You don't want to go near that, right?
Nobody's trying to help her. She's scary.
It's my ex's mother.
There's a Japanese lady called Kuchisaki Onna. And that's like this lady who wears a mask and it'll come up to you on the street and she'll take the mask off and her face is like completely torn to shreds. And she's like, "Am I beautiful?" And then if you say yes, she'll cut your face open. But if you say no, she'll kill you. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation either way.
Huh.
But I think people would rather have their face cut open than die.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me when I was dealing with drill sergeants in the Army. Come up to you. Do you think I'm funny?
It's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Either way, you're wrong.
Yeah. Either way, you're done. So just answer the best you can.
Just tell the truth, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So, want to discuss next week?
Yes. Next week we're doing.
Let's do this real quick to end the whole thing about the Silmarillion. So,
okay.
The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien, of course. You can get the softcover books and all that for relatively cheap online or at the bookstore.
Or there's an audiobook on Audible.
You get the audiobooks. And then some of the stories that have been taken out of the Silmarillion and expanded based on Tolkien's notes are the Lays of Beleriand, which is part of that story. Beren and Luthien, which is another story within the Silmarillion. And then
beautiful one. It's actually about Tolkien and his wife.
Yep. And then and that's actually on his tombstone. Their tombstones, I should say.
Beren and Luthien.
And then the Children of Hurin.
The Children of Hurin.
A book you can get that's part of the Silmarillion.
If
you've never read the Silmarillion, I would suggest maybe starting with either Beren and Luthien or the Children of Hurin, and just kind of reading that, because that'll give you some sense of how the rest of the book is going to be, because it's a different.
I definitely recommend the audiobook, though. I definitely recommend that.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot easier to comprehend.
And you don't have to struggle with trying to figure out how to say the words.
Yeah.
Which is one of the hardest parts of actually reading the books, the pronunciation.
Yeah, go for a walk in the woods and listen to the Silmarillion. It's a whole different experience.
Go for a walk in the woods no matter what.
Yeah, just in general, go for a walk in the woods.
Look around,
okay, but next week.
Love it all up. So we have next week, which is the last Tuesday of November.
Draco de Magicus.
And then we have 3 Tuesdays in December before Christmas. So
are you going to be here next Tuesday? You're not going to be here next Tuesday.
Yeah. It's the Tuesday after that. The 5th is when I'm going to be gone. So
okay, so
the 5th there won't be a show. So we
won't have a show on the 5th.
Yep. We have 3 more shows before Christmas. So next week, by suggestion of one of our viewers, we are going
to Draco de Magicus,
discussing Puff the Magic Dragon. We're talking about the history of the song and the TV special, and then the TV
Mr.
series
Nobody
cartoon that was on after that. So anybody a fan of Puff the Magic Dragon, that's what we'll be discussing.
Puff the Magic.
I know Briscoe's a fan of Puff the Magic Dragon.
By the sea.
And then that's next Tuesday. And the Tuesday after that, there won't be a show. And so we'll just have to come up with something for the 12th. And the 19th, we'll do the lore of Santa Claus.
Sounds good.
All right.
So I hope you see you guys there. No, I'm good.
He lived by the sea. Yes, he did. So everybody, Thursday, have an awesome Thanksgiving. If you're free around 6 or 7 o'clock, I will be on live with Largo on Largo's Lair with Wilhelm Toy and Hobby. We're going to be discussing some mental health issues, not in a depressing way, but just like ways to, maneuver through the holiday season without getting overwhelmed and, depressed or anything like that. Just, tips and tricks and things like that. Make sure everybody does well through the holidays and stays happy and enjoys the season as it should be enjoyed, and not get wrapped up in the whole money and buying presents and all that commercialized nonsense.
Exactly.
So we're doing that Thursday, and then Saturday night I will be on Oz's Saturday Night Clubhouse. And I think that's it for this
new
week.
Blogs every day at helladope.com. Go check those guys out. They're pretty awesome.
Check out helladopetoys.com.
They're having a Black Friday deal right now on AWOX.
Check out their new regular blog they have at the bottom of their webpage. And check out their daily sales. Of course, they have stuff on there every day, getting new stuff in all the time. But Friday, They are having a big Black Friday sale. So make sure you check that out. Get all your action figure needs. And don't forget to check out Jim Largo's Lair on his channel. He's got some great shows that he's been putting out. So always got good content over there. Luke, you got anything coming up?
Silmarillion.
Yep. Luke is going to go buy a Three Amigos costume and perform that live on my YouTube channel.
That's probably cultural appropriation at this point. I would be canceled.
That's all right. I'm willing to take the risk.
But I'm not. I don't want to get canceled.
We'll hide your face. We'll put a big mustache on you. No,
I'll wear a bandana and a mustache.
Thanks, Allison. Appreciate
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I know all of you have, so that's all good. So, Luke, you ready to play us out?
Bye-bye. Adios, amigos.